Hello, Sylvain for Team Physics.on. Today we are talking about Captain Fantastic, and surprisingly, even if the title seems like for a big blockbuster, it's not at all. It's all about a family, a special family. Basically, the parents have made an extreme choice to raise their children in full awareness of their environment. So they prepare them physically, mentally, to be able to make the most of any situation, really. As an example that I reuse later on here, the 6-year-old daughter is learning all about politics and laws and liberty, freedom, all those kind of stuff. And that's exactly where I think there's a very, very deep point to make here. Because often we like to simplify things for children, to hide them crude facts, to avoid them seeing violent scene or hearing about them. We end up also thinking that they cannot understand kind of complicated situations, when honestly. And there's a particular time in the movie where this special family meets a more traditional American family, and that's where you see so much of the difference. Because our main family here talks openly about death, for example, because, well, that's reality, that's what happens. And of course, the other family is pretty uncomfortable. They are really not used to this level of openness and sharing the facts and all. And it's really an awkward moment. And you might think in the movie that it's basically the provocative time where they push to the extreme to show something. But it's in fact just an opening for the next set of scenes. In those next scenes, the children are playing PlayStation or whatever. And of course, the classic American family are pretty used to that. The children are bragging about the PlayStation, blah, blah, blah. And of course, the children from the classic American family is showing the video games to the other ones, because the other ones don't really know what is video game. They don't know what brands are. They don't know a lot of stuff that we take for granted in our society. Why that? Because they spend their time educating themselves in politics, in history, in geography, in all those things that are deeper. And now, when the mother from the classic family comes to complain to the father of the special one, they end up having a heated argument here. Now, the father wants to make his point, and he's calling his 6-year-old daughter to come out of the gaming area. And now you might see where I'm going with that. And straight away, the father asks his daughter to talk about some bit of the Constitution, and especially why it matters, what it changed in people's life. Now that's obviously the enjoyable moment in the movie, where you see a 6-year-old talking about politics and effects on society and all, and it just makes sense. We should all raise our children to know in which world they are living in and how to interact with other people and to understand the full extent of these rules in our society. What I forgot to mention is that just before calling his daughter, he called the son from the classic family. And the son went pretty much blank and was totally off track. So it really relates on how you want to communicate with the group of people that you're hanging around with. And you can think that having many secrets is a way to protect your environment, to avoid to piss off people, to avoid having harsh emotional reaction, or anything that would make your job harder on a day-to-day basis. But there's something important to understand here, is that if you make this choice to keep secrets to protect people, you end up promoting ignorance as well as this keep secret mindset all around you. And you have to ask yourself this very question: is it worth it? Now, let's take a few seconds here. In which place do I want to work? In a place where I have to keep secret from my colleagues and they have to keep secret from me, pretendably to protect my feeling? Or am I willing to be hurt sometime, but to have the full picture, the big context of where I'm working and with which kind of persons? Something important to realize here is that if you're making the choice to keep secret, be sure that it will go both ways. It doesn't matter if you're a basic employee or the top person that runs this company. If you keep secret, you're sending this message that we should keep secret. And people will find out. We are so good as humans at finding out when people are hiding things or talking crap. It's even unconsciously, even if we don't know about it, it's somewhere on the back of our mind. We saw this. We saw that something was weird or awkward or just out of place. Now, going on openness and trying to sharing smartness is a way more difficult choice. No question. Because it implies that you have to find the right way to talk to people. It's not just a matter of being cruel to everybody. It's the exact opposite. It's about caring about others enough so you tell them the hard truth, but in a nice way. It's also a constant effort that will only pay out on the very long run, because it takes time to get rid of this secret mindset. It takes just a very small amount of hidden fact to throw off all the efforts on setting an open culture. Now I'll finish off with a small metaphor. There's a place that we all know that works on this logic of secrets. And it's called the world. With so many nations around that don't have a common goal and a common interest, and the world currently is this huge place full of secrets. We are all hiding stuff from each other, every individuals, every companies, every nations. On every scales we are hiding a lot. So at the company level now, it's a matter of knowing if you want to replicate this logic of secrecy and fight and war and arguments, or if you really want to protect from this outside logic and to build something together united. And with those good words, I hope to see you next time.